Hi guys, I'm back with another lecture on macroeconomics. And before we continue, let's begin with a brief introduction. So I'm Sandhya Rao, working as an assistant professor at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So in this lecture, the topic that we're going to cover are the related concepts of aggregate demand, and we'll talk about the equilibrium in aggregate supply and the methods of calculation of national income. So we were left with three more concepts of national income, that are private income, personal income, and personal disposable income. So first of all, what this private income is. So private income is the total of factor income and transfer income. Okay, so whatever factor income that we have earned and the transfer income. Transfer income basically means unilateral transfers, okay, on which we have not rendered any services like gifts or let's say pension, unemployment allowances. All these kinds are example of transfer income. Okay, so private income refers to the summation of factor income as well as transfer income. Okay, so private income will also include the income that we have earned from abroad, but it will only be restricted to the private people. Now private means what? The households and the firms. Okay, the private firms. We are not included the income that we have earned from the, or let's say we are not including here the income that we have earned from abroad, which goes for the government. Okay, so जो भी government ने income जो earn करी है बाहर से, we will not include that here. So private income equals to the income from domestic product accruing to the private sector, plus net factor income from abroad, again accruing to private sector only, plus all types of transfer income. Okay, so in a nutshell, we can reframe the definition, or we can reframe the formula as national income minus income from domestic product accruing to government sector. As I've already told you, that whatever income accrues to private sector, we'll include it that only. So any income that accrues to government, we will exclude that. Okay, so if national income is given to us, then we will exclude the income that is meant for the government sector, plus we'll add all the transfer payments. Okay, so income from domestic product accruing to government sector will be deducted from the national income, and transfer income will be added. So it's a summation of factor income plus the transfer income. Now, the next thing is personal income. So personal income is a part of private income. Okay, so private income is a broader concept, and we take personal income out of the private income only. So personal income is nothing but, when we exclude the undistributed profit, or you can say whatever income which have not been received yet. Okay, it's already being earned, but we haven't received that. So we'll exclude it. So personal income is calculated by subtracting those type of income which are earned but not yet received, and adding all those types which have been received but not currently earned. So this basically means that, whatever we have, whatever income that we have in our hand is known as personal income. So, okay? So net national product at factor cost minus any undistributed profits, okay, जो हमने अभी तक receive नहीं किया है. Okay, we have already earned it, हम earn कर चुके हैं, but we have not received it, minus any corporate taxes plus any transfer payments, okay, जो हमने receive करी है. Okay, so whatever income that we have earned, we will be including here. Sorry, whatever income we have received, okay, चाहे हमने वो earn करी हो या ना करी हो, ठीक है, that will be called as personal income. Then next thing is disposable income. Disposable income is a part of personal income which is meant for us, which means that, we can use it as per our will. हमारा जैसे मन करे हम उसको dispose of कर सकते हैं, and this is the income which is left after paying all kinds of टैक्सेस, यू नो आपने कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स भी पे कर चुके, आप अपने पर्सनल टैक्सेस भी पे कर चुके, सब कुछ पे कर चुके, उसके बाद जो आपकी इनकम बचती है दैट इज डिस्पोजेबल इनकम, एंड दिस इज द इनकम दैट यू एक्चुअली स्पेंड ऑन द कमोडिटीज, ऑन द कंजम्पशन. सो डिस्पोजेबल इनकम इज पर्सनल इनकम माइनस एनी पर्सनल टैक्सेस. ठीक है, जो भी आपके पर्सनल टैक्सेस है वो सब पे आउट करने के बाद द इनकम दैट यू आर लेफ्ट विद इज नोन एज डिस्पोजेबल इनकम. Now, what are the methods of calculating the national income? So there are three methods by which we can calculate the national income. First one is product method. You can call it output method also, or you can call it value added method as well. Next is income method, and the third one is expenditure method. So we'll discuss them one by one, starting with the product method, or you call it value added method. So this is basically when in a business or in any production activity, what happens is हम raw material को process करते हैं and then we finally get the finished good. लेकिन इसके बीच में बहुत सारे जो during the production is in process, जो work in progress वाला जो phase होता है, उसमें the goods are called intermediate goods. Okay, so अगर हम total जितना भी हमारा output जो अब तक generate किया गया है in an economy, अगर हम उसको add करना चाहें, so as to avoid the double counting, we only count the value of the final goods. ठीक है, जो भी हमारे फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज हैं उनकी वैल्यू को हम इंक्लूड करते हैं. और देयर इज वन मोर वे टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. वैल्यू एडिशन जो हो रही है हर लेवल पे, ठीक है, जो भी इंटरमीडिएट लेवल्स आ रहे हैं उसमें कोई भी प्रोडक्ट अपना कितना वैल्यू में कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है. लेट्स I'll explain it to you with an example. Let's say I purchased मैदा फ्रॉम द मार्केट. ठीक है, मैंने फ्लोर परचेज किया. नाउ आफ्टर आई हैव मेड द डो आउट ऑफ इट एंड उसको अच्छे से प्रोसेस करने के बाद व्हेन द ब्रेड इज रेडी आई विल सेल इट ऑफ इन द मार्केट. ठीक है, बट मैंने जो मैदा खरीदा था दैट मे बी वाज फॉर 100 रुपीज ओनली. ठीक है, एक पैकेट मैदा खरीदा मैंने एंड उसके बाद मैंने फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर उसको प्रोसेस करके और भी जो इंग्रेडिएंट्स मैंने यूज करे हैं उसमें, उन सबको यूज करने के बाद जो मैंने फाइनल ब्रेड अगर जो मैंने बनाई है, जो मेरी टोटल ब्रेड जितनी भी बनी है, लेट्स से वो बनती है 500 की. ठीक है, मतलब मैंने उनका प्राइस वगैरह जो सेट कर दिया है दैट इज फॉर 500 रुपीज. या मतलब टोटल जो मेरे अब मैं उसको बेचने वाली हूँ तो वो 500 रुपीज पे बिकेगा. ठीक है, सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू हियर इज दैट आई विल either take the final value of the final goods and services that I am producing, or I can take the value addition कि हर step के बाद उसकी कुछ ना कुछ value बढ़ती जा रही होगी. ठीक है, for example मैदा के बाद मैंने उसका आटा बनाया, मैदा लेकर मैंने उसको गूंदा. ठीक है, I made a dough out of it. So उस डो को अगर मैं सेल करूँ तो मे भी शायद वो 100 रुपीज से ज्यादा पे बिके क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी प्रोसेसिंग हो चुकी है. और लेट्स टेक अनदर एग्जांपल. अगर आपने फॉर एग्जांपल मार्केट से यू हैव परचेजेस दाल. ठीक है, जो डोसा बनाने के लिए व्हाटएवर दाल जो भी आपकी लगती है, इफ यू हैव परचेज दैट दाल, तो वो अगर 50 रुपीज की आती है. ठीक है, एंड आप मार्केट में अगर डोसा खाने जाते हो तो वो मे बी 200 का, 250 का, 300 का आपको पड़ता है. ठीक है, अब अगर आप खुद से उस चीज को बनाना चाह रहे हो, ठीक है, लेकिन आप मार्केट से दाल लेके आते हो तो आपको 50 रुपीज की पड़ रही है. ठीक है, सेकेंड ऑप्शन इज कि आप मार्केट से रेडी टू ईट वाला बेस जो है वो लेकर आते हो, तो वो थोड़ा और एक्सपेंसिव होगा. मे बी वो शायद 100 रुपीज का पड़े या 150 का पड़े. तो ये जो हर स्टेप बाय स्टेप जो प्रोसेसिंग हो रही है, तो वैल्यू एडिशन कितना हो रहा है. आप अगर दाल लेकर आते हो, उस दाल को जब आप पीसते हो, उसका जब आप मिक्सचर बनाते हो, तो वो बिक रहा है मार्केट में 150 रुपीज का. एंड अगर आप सिर्फ दाल लेकर आते हो तो वो 50 रुपीज की मिल रही है. तो ये जो 100 रुपीज का वैल्यू एडिशन हुआ है उसको प्रोसेस करने से, तो दिस इज the method by which we can calculate the total value of the entire output. ठीक है, हम हर स्टेप पे कितनी वैल्यू एडिशन हो रही है उसको हम कंसीडर कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज वन मेथड. सो द फॉर्मूला इज नेशनल इनकम. अच्छा, ओके, लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद द सेम एग्जांपल. आपने 150 रुपीज का आपने वो बेस जो है वो रेडी टू ईट वाला खरीदा. नाउ अगर आप उसको भी आगे प्रोसेसिंग करते हो, आप उसका बैटर को आप उसको बनाते हो उसको तवे पे, फ्राई पैन पे, सब कुछ करने के बाद व्हेन यू मेक द एंटायर लाइक फुल फ्लेज आपका डोसा रेडी हो जाता है, उसके बाद इफ यू सेल इट ऑफ, तो वो आपको मार्केट में 250 का या 300 का मिल रहा है, ठीक है। तो लेट्स से कि आपको मार्केट में वो 300 का मिल रहा है फुल फ्लेज डोसा, तो अब आपका उस बैटर ने कितनी वैल्यू एडिशन करके दिया आपको, 150 रुपीज की, क्योंकि 150 रुपीज का वो बैटर था एंड 300 का मार्केट में मिल रहा है। तो इट मीन्स आपके टोटल जो आपके 2 बार प्रोसेसिंग हुई है, दोनों बार उन प्रोसेसिंग में 150 यूनिट्स की वैल्यू एडिशन हुई है। सो द टोटल आउटपुट वैल्यू कम्स आउट विथ 300 एंड अल्टीमेटली अगर देखा जाए तो जो आपका फाइनल प्रोडक्ट है वो भी 300 रुपीज का है। सो यू कैन डू इट इधर वे, या तो आप फाइनल कमोडिटी की वैल्यू को ले लो और यू कैन डू इट बाय वैल्यू एडिशन मेथड, ठीक है, कि आप हर लेवल पे, हर इंटरमीडिएट लेवल पे कितनी वैल्यू ऐड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। सो दीज आर, so this is the first method of calculating the national income, ठीक है। So national income is equal to GDP at market price minus depreciation. I have discussed this in the last lecture that you know अगर आपको ग्रॉस और नेट का डिफरेंस चेक करना है तो आप हमेशा डेप्रिसिएशन कंसिडर करोगे। So here since we have to calculate the national income in net value, so we will deduct the depreciation out of it. So when we deduct depreciation from GDP at MP, we will get NDP at market price. Okay. Now again, अब यहाँ पे domestic income है, D stands for domestic, and we have to calculate national income. So national and domestic में difference किसका होता है, NFI, that is net factor income from abroad. So we will add the net factor income from abroad to the domestic income. ठीक है. So now we have got net national product at market price. अब market price से factor price पे आने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, we will have to subtract all the indirect taxes and we will have to add the government subsidies. Okay, so that means that we will add the net indirect taxes. So now we'll be given net national product at factor cost. So this is the first method of calculation of national income. There is one more method that is known as income method. In this, we try to add the entire income of the people. Okay, जो भी earn किया है लोगों ने with whatever income have been earned in an economy, we will add it up, and that will be known as the national income. Okay, so we add all the income from the employment and ownership of assets before taxation received from all the production activities in an economy. Now, please pay attention here. We are focusing on the production activities. So, whatever have been earned from non-productive activities will not be included in this national income. Okay, हम उसको include नहीं करेंगे. We will only include that income which we have earned from the production activities. Okay, and also one more thing, जो आपने इनकम अपनी एम्प्लॉयमेंट से जनरेट किया है, लाइक जो भी अगर आप बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, जो भी आपका प्रोफेशन है, वॉट एवर फैक्टर सर्विसेज यू हैव रेंडर्ड फॉर दैट, इफ यू हैव रिसीव्ड एन इनकम देन दैट विल बी इंक्लूडेड हियर। ऑल्सो अगर आपने कोई एसेट, अगर आप उसको ओन करते हैं, देन वॉट एवर रिटर्न यू हैव अर्न फ्रॉम इट, ओके, then that again will be included in the national income. So NDPFC, here we are trying to calculate the NDPFC. So here whatever compensation have been received by the employees plus net interest, which is being which basically means the interest that we have earned on the investments. अगर हमने कोई भी fixed asset ऐसा खरीदा हुआ है, कोई भी capital asset है, on that if we have earned any interest, plus any rental income or any royalty income that we have enjoyed, ठीक है, and प्रॉफिट्स ऑफ प्राइवेट सेक्टर बिजनेसेस, ठीक है, जो भी बिजनेस सेक्टर जो प्रॉफिट्स अर्न कर रहे हैं फ्रॉम देयर प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटीज, फ्रॉम देयर प्रोडक्शन एक्टिविटीज, दैट विल बी इंक्लूडेड. ओके, नाउ this is the third method, that is expenditure method, which is the most commonly used method for calculation of the national income. So here whatever is being spent in an economy, we include it, because when we spend money on something, that becomes the income from someone else. ठीक है, तो इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर ये दोनों चीजें रिलेटेड हैं. आपका जो एक्सपेंडिचर है वो दूसरे के लिए इनकम हो सकती है. ठीक है, इफ फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम गोइंग टू मार्केट एंड यू नो आई हैव बॉट अ पेन फॉर लेट्स से 20 rupees, then that 20 rupees will become an expenditure for me, but that will become an income for the shopkeeper. Okay, so private consumption, so we have divided this expenditure in different forms. Okay, so we have divided in the form of consumption, in the form of investment, in the form of government consumption and net export. Okay, so private consumption means, you know, households often spend their money on the consumption of consumer goods and yeah, okay, consumer goods, ठीक है. So that is private consumption. Now there is also private investment. Now what is this private investment? That we also invest our money in capital goods. Now capital goods जो होते हैं वो आपकी actually में investments होते हैं, ठीक है. Then there is government consumption also, because government also needs some, you know, assets to for the government, for the welfare of public. Okay, they also need certain kinds of capital goods for construction of road, for the construction of buildings, for the construction of school, and all these things. For that they need infrastructure, ठीक है. तो उसके लिए again they need capital assets, तो वो भी demand create करते हैं. They also spend money on the consumption. Then also we have net exports. Okay, we all know that, you know, we also buy goods and services from abroad. So net exports means export minus import. So whatever we have purchased from abroad minus whatever we have sold off in the foreign markets. Okay, so this is expenditure method, and this is the most widely used method in the calculation of national income. So in all the three methods that we have discussed so far, the bottom line is that, you know, we are trying to calculate that whatever we are trying to calculate the total value of the output that have been produced. Okay, we are trying to calculate that. So there are different ways by which we can do it, but the essence remains the same, that, you know, we have to calculate the total value of output generated in a particular period of time in an economy. Now the next thing is aggregate demand and supply and the equilibrium. So aggregate demand is the demand, or you can say the overall demand for the goods and services in an economy. Okay, when we talk about microeconomics, we only talk about demand, which means the quantity of goods and services, the quantity demanded by any person at a given point of time, at a given rate. Okay, but here, since we are talking about the entire economy, so whatever quantity demanded, whatever quantity is being demanded in the entire economy at a given point of time and at a given price is known as aggregate demand. Okay, and here also there exists an inverse relationship between the aggregate demand and price. Okay, when the price goes up, the demand goes down. When the price goes down, the demand goes up. Okay, and here we have included, or we can say we have segregated the aggregate demand in 5 components. Okay, so we have demand created by consumption by the private sector. We have demand for investment. We have government demand also. Government also demand for consumption. Then we have export minus import, that is net exports. So these are the 5 components of aggregate demand. Okay. Now, aggregate demand is equal to consumer spending plus investment spending plus government spending plus export minus import. So we'll go through these 5 components in detail. But before that, understand one thing, that aggregate demand is the demand for the goods and services in the entire economy. Okay, whatever quantity is being demanded for the goods and services in the entire economy at a given point of time and at a given price. Okay, that's aggregate demand. So these are the 5 components. So first one is consumer spending. Now what is this consumer spending? That's when, you know, the consumer spends their income on the consumer goods. ठीक है, हमें फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मुझे जाना है, मुझे कपड़े खरीदने हैं, आई वांट टू गो फॉर शॉपिंग एंड आई वांट टू बाय न्यू क्लोथ्स, देन दैट इज that means that I'm spending my income on consumer goods. Okay, or let's say I want to go out and, you know, buy some bread and butter, or let's say I want to buy chocolates, then these are all consumer goods. So consumer spending forms a very large part of demand. ठीक है, हम demand create करते हैं कि मार्केट में किन किन तरह की चीजों की डिमांड क्रिएट होती है, वही सबको हम एग्रीगेट डिमांड बोलते हैं. ठीक है, सो देयर इज डिमांड फॉर कंज्यूमर गुड्स, देयर इज डिमांड फॉर कैपिटल गुड्स, देयर इज डिमांड फॉर government also demand for certain goods and services. Okay, and there is demand for export and import also. So that is what we call aggregate demand. So now investment का क्या है? देखो, it includes the purchase of equipments, buildings and inventory. As I told you कि जब हम investment की बात कर रहे हैं, we are talking about capital goods. ठीक है, capital assets की बात कर रहे हैं. Capital assets or capital goods help us to run our business smoothly, and they help in increasing the productivity, in increasing the profitability of the business. So वो आपकी जो आपकी एक्चुअल बिजनेस प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उसको कैरी आउट करने में इट हेल्प्स. ठीक है, सो वी नीड दैट ऑल्सो. क्योंकि अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरे पास स्विंग मशीन नहीं होगी, ठीक है, अगर मेरे पास फॉर एग्जाम्पल डीप फ्रीजर्स नहीं होंगे तो आइसक्रीम इंडस्ट्री कैसे वर्क करेगी. ठीक है, अगर स्विंग मशीन नहीं होगी तो फिर फैशन इंडस्ट्री कैसे वर्क करेगी. दे नीड दीज काइंड ऑफ कैपिटल एसेट्स टू रन देयर बिजनेस. ठीक है, okay. Now government also need goods and services, because they carry out welfare activities. They spend a lot of money on the welfare of economy. Time to time उन्हें hospitals build up करने पड़ते हैं. They have to build roads, they have to build highways, and for all these kinds of activities that they have to undergo during the entire year, they need certain kinds of assets. So they also have to, they also create certain demand for the goods and services. So for example, उनको अगर कोई भी चीज लेट्स से स्कूल बना रही है, ठीक है, सो फॉर दैट क्या क्या चाहिए होगा. उनको सीमेंट चाहिए होगी, उनको ब्रिक्स चाहिए होंगी, ये सारी चीजें चाहिए होंगी. देन ब्लैक बोर्ड चाहिए होंगे, देन चॉक्स चाहिए होंगे, बेंचेस चाहिए होंगे. ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल बी रिक्वायर्ड बाय देम. तो वो भी तो डिमांड क्रिएट कर रहे हैं ना अल्टीमेटली. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ एग्रीगेट डिमांड. देन द डिमांड फ्रॉम अदर कंट्रीज. सी इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हमारे गुड्स की जो डिमांड है वो सिर्फ हम नहीं क्रिएट करते हैं. People from abroad also create the demand for our products, for our goods and services. So that again forms a part of aggregate demand. Also, it's not that people from other countries are demanding for our goods and services. We also demand for their goods and services. Okay, that's how the trade goes. Okay, so international trade जो है, it forms a very important part of any economy. So हम भी बाहर की चीजों की डिमांड क्रिएट करते हैं, and बाहर से भी हमारी प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड क्रिएट होती है. So we deduct what we have demanded from other countries from the demand that has been created by other people. Okay? So export minus import. So these are the 5 components of aggregate demand, and they together form the total demand. Now, aggregate supply means the total supply of goods and services that firms in a national economy plan on selling during a specified period of time. ठीक है, कि आपकी इकोनॉमी में टोटल कितना गुड्स जो है वो सप्लाई किया जाएगा. व्हाट इज द क्वांटिटी दैट विल बी सप्लाइड. ठीक है, द टोटल क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड बाय द प्रोड्यूसर्स और बाय द सप्लायर्स at a particular point of time in an economy. ठीक है, and obviously at a particular prevailing price. So it is the total amount of goods and services that the firms are willing to sell at a specific price level in an economy. So that's aggregate supply. And if we move on to the equilibrium, then equilibrium is established when the aggregate demand is equal to the aggregate supply. Okay, so economic equilibrium may also be defined as the point at which the supply equals the demand for the product, with the equilibrium price existing where the hypothetical supply and demand curves intersect. Okay, so जहां पर आपका AD curve and AS curve intersect होगा, that will be the point of equilibrium. So I can show you this diagrammatically. So if you could see this, on x-axis we have the national income, and on y-axis we have kept the price. Now here, as you can see, that AD curve is a downward sloping curve. Why? Because as the price increases, the demand falls, and when the price is decreasing, the demand increases. So it shows an inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. So AD curve is downward sloping. And if you could see, AS curve is upward sloping. Why? Because there's a direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied. Now, when the price is increasing, obviously the producers are more willing to supply. ठीक है, जब क्योंकि उनको प्रॉफिट मिलेगा, जितना ज्यादा प्राइस हाई होगा उतना ही ज्यादा वो प्रॉफिट हाई कमा सकते हैं. So they are willing to sell more when the price is high. And when the price is low, they try to hold the quantity. They are not willing to sell much because they feel कि इतने कम प्राइस पे हम सेल करके क्यों अपना लॉस करें. So that is why there is a direct relationship. There's a direct relationship between price and quantity supply. ठीक है. Now the thing is कि जहां पर ये point दोनों intersect करते हैं, when AD curve and AS curve intersect, that point is known as the point of equilibrium. So if you could see this point, when the AD curve and AS curve are intersecting, this corresponds to a level of income Y, and this corresponds to a level of price as P. तो जब आपकी लेवल ऑफ इनकम y है, उस पॉइंट पे, उस लेवल ऑफ इनकम पर यू आर ऑपरेटिंग इन इक्विलिब्रियम. At that point, your income is equal to your demand is equal to the supply. Okay, so this is it, and these are the questions for you that I have framed. So the first question is, what is the usefulness of estimating the national income? Okay, so you have to tell me that, why exactly do we calculate the national income? What is the significance of national income? Or you can say, what are the things that we actually get to know about our economy when we study national income? Okay. Then the next question is, can the gross domestic product be greater than the gross national product? You have to answer this question. The next thing is, distinguish between personal and private income. So these are the questions that you're going to do. I'll just give you a hint for second question. That means, can GDP be greater than the gross national product? See, the difference between domestic and national is NFIA. Okay, so you have to understand this कि यहाँ पे role जो है सारा वो NFIA का है. So you have to tell कि ये कब किया जा सकता है. Like it's possible, definitely. GDP जो है वो national product से ज़्यादा हो सकता है. ठीक है? Gross domestic product is the output that have been produced in your country only, like आपकी domestic boundaries के अंदर. And gross national product means when you have earned something from abroad also. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे अगर आपका GDP ज्यादा है gross national product से, तो वो तभी हो सकता है when the NFIA is negative, which means आपने नेट फैक्टर इनकम जो अर्न करी है बाहर से वो कम है, और जो आपने अपनी कंट्री के अंदर जो नेट फैक्टर इनकम दी है फॉरेनर्स को वो ज्यादा है, विच मीन्स योर एक्सपोर्ट्स आर लेस देन योर इम्पोर्ट्स. ठीक है, तो NFIA अल्टीमेटली नेगेटिव हो जाएगा, एंड दैट विल लीड टू lesser GDP and high, that will lead to lesser gross national product and higher gross domestic product. So this is it, guys. Thank you, and hope you have understood this well. So this is the end of unit 1. If you have any query, you can drop me a message, and we can take a doubt session as well. Okay, so thank you.